What's happening, people? TLP, the Liverpool Prophet, back again with another match preview. Yes, people, you know what time it is. It is, of course, that time of the week again where we look ahead to and preview another Liverpool game. This hasn't been an exciting thing to do this season for various reasons because of how bad we've been. I don't look forward to the games particularly. I just try and get these previews out of the way as quick as I can. Um, so we take on Sunderland on Wednesday in a game that is a must win. Let's put it straight. I feel like I've said that for every match preview that it's a must win game because of how bad we've been and the fact that we're in this position. Must win game, but I have zero confidence, and I'll explain to you why I have zero confidence as well. Before we get into the video, however, before we get into the match preview, do remember if you are new to the channel, do drop a like on the video. Do sub to the channel as well, please, if you can, people. Currently on the road to 650, we're only 11 subs away from 650, so if you can subscribe, it's much appreciated. Do turn notifications on as well on the channel so you know whenever future content drops. And yeah, having said all of that, people, let's just get straight into today's talking points and the video. So, people, Sunderland versus Liverpool. Okay, where do we start? Where do we start? I guess we'll recap on the City game. So, our last outing lost 2-1 at home to Manchester City. In, let's be honest, a deserved loss. On the balance of play, if you look at how both teams played the game, we probably didn't deserve nothing out of the game. They deserved the 3 points. We were shocking in the first half against City, did nothing but sit back, which is just not the Liverpool way. Second half came out more, but overall, I think Manchester City and the balance of play deserved to take the 3 points away from that. And we're in a bad position, people, because United won this weekend. That puts them 5 points clear of us. They beat Spurs 2-0 at home. I say beat, absolutely ragdoll Spurs 2-0 at home. I know Spurs were down to 10 men, but even before the 10 men, the sending off happened, United were all over them. So a deserved win for them. They're looking good under Michael Carrick. I can't argue with it. They're looking very, very good and rejuvenated. So they're 5 clear of us. You know, they've had a tough run of fixtures as well, people. They played the top two, Arsenal and Manchester City, and they've got 6 points out of them. They got another 3 points from Fulham and another 3 points from Spurs. So they've got 4 wins in a row. They could make it 5 tonight, I believe, against West Ham, which is going to kick off in a couple of hours. So they're 5 clear of us and they're flying at the moment. Chelsea weren't doing so well under Enzo Maresca. Sacked Enzo Maresca. I've brought in Liam Rossini, and they've had a manager bounce too. I believe they've won all their Premier League games since he's come in. The only games that they haven't won are the two fixtures against Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Other than that, Rossini has won all of his games in the league as Chelsea manager. So they also, like Manchester United, are having a resurgence with a new manager. Both of these clubs are having new manager bounces. You know, with United, it's understandable because Michael Carrick was an ex-Manchester United player. Naturally, because of that, players will respect him. They wear the badge. He's won the badge. They'll respect him because he knows what it means to represent the club, and they'll know he knows what he's talking about. Rossini seems like a very chill guy. Seems to get along with the Chelsea players really well from what I've seen. So it's no surprise that they brought into what he's doing really well, and they're doing well. They're starting to open the gap on us. A couple of weeks ago, when Amorim was still here, when Maresca was still here, we were all around the same. Let's be honest. United, Liverpool, Chelsea, we were in and around the same bubble. We were all relatively close points-wise, but we weren't doing so well, as we all know. They've sacked their managers. They've acted. They brought in 2 new head coaches, Carrick into him, Rossini full-time, and they've had a manager bounce. And both these clubs now, both these teams are pulling away from us in this top 4 race. Like I said, United sat, I believe, in 4th now. 5 points clear of us. They're right behind Villa, Manchester United, so they could finish 3rd. Chelsea, again, 4 points clear of us now as well. Also right behind United and Villa. They could also get 3rd. These 2 clubs have had a very, very impressive manager bounce so far. And I say so far because so far for me is the key word here. Because what do we know, people, with manager bounces? United under Solskjaer was the perfect example. When the manager bounce runs out, you know, it tends to go a little bit south. However, for now, they've got it. And what can we say about it? We can just sit on and watch as both of our top 4 rivals start to put away from us. It's amazing how Chelsea and United have shown more standards for their club than we have. I know United have got their whole thing with their ownership and everything. They don't really like their ownership, etc. However, you know what? They pulled the plug on their manager. They saw it wasn't working. They saw he wasn't going to be the guy long term. They saw he wasn't the right fit for their club, and they removed him. Chelsea, you can say what you want about the Maresca sacking. Maybe it was a little bit harsh. Maybe he deserved more time. Maybe he was hung out to dry by their owners. I know Chelsea fans, similar to Manchester United fans, aren't too keen on their owners either. But nonetheless, they made the ruthless decision of getting rid of him and bringing in someone else. And it's proved to be the right decision because Rossini is doing well. And Carrick coming in has proved to be the right decision because he's also doing well. So they've shown more standards by getting rid of the problem. Granted, their managers aren't the only problems at their clubs, but they've started by removing something that was a problem or contributed to the problem. With us, what are we doing, people? We're still sat here in early February and our manager is still on his slot. And we've got nothing. No manager bounce, no excitement, no nothing at all. Look, if Michael Carrick, someone who didn't do well at Middlesbrough, someone who, let's be honest, isn't a manager, he's an interim coach at best, he's a championship coach at best, can get a tune out of that Manchester United players. Because on paper, I'll be honest, that Manchester United team isn't bad. It's got some decent players in there. You know, if you get the right manager there, add a couple of additions, I'm sure they can be right up there, challenging for the title because the quality of the league is so poor. If you have that, people, if he can get a tune out of Manchester United, and he's not even qualified, he's not even a great coach, let's be honest, he's a sub below par coach. Why can't we do the same? You know, I see reports that Xabi Alonso wants to wait till the summer, have a break, then come in. In that case, cool, get Xabi Alonso in the summer. For now, bringing it into him. You know, Steven Gerrard would be perfect. I know people will say he didn't do well at Villa, etc. Well, Carrick didn't do well at Middlesbrough. He's gone into United and he steadied the ship. Why can't Gerrard do something similar? You know what I'm saying? Why can't he? He's an ex-player. And unlike Carrick, no disrespect to Carrick here, but Steven Gerrard is a legend in Liverpool and at Liverpool Football Club. Naturally, you know if he goes into that dressing room, Mohamed Salah will take notice to have respect for him. Virgil van Dijk will take notice and have respect for him. Alisson Becker will take notice and have respect for him. Andrew Robertson will take notice and have respect for him. All these players, Joe Gomez, another one. I'm naming all of our older players here. They'll all look at Steven Gerrard in that dressing room and say, that man is a club legend. He knows what it means to represent this club. He's worn this shirt and he has led us to glory numerous times. Instantly, I look at the team now, they don't respect the manager. Our senior players don't respect him, and that says it all. Alisson Alisson on Sunday. Am I supposed to believe he just made that mistake out of the blue? Some of these players really don't trust his manager. Virgil van Dijk and Alisson against Bournemouth the other week, ignoring Slott's instructions. They don't believe in him. And we're just going to sit around, and by the time it's too late, by the time top four is gone, that's when I believe the club will pull the trigger. They'll wait for everything to be gone. They'll wait for us to be out of the Champions League, out of the FA Cup, well in distance of a top four race. Then they'll decide to sack the manager. They're a bunch of absolute clowns. And look, I'm not saying Manchester United's owners are great. They're far from it. I'm not saying Chelsea's owners are great. They're also far from it. But you know what? They've shown more ambition than we have. You know what I'm saying? They've shown more ambition. I don't blame FSG so much. For me, there's a list of 3 on my blame thing. And for me, on the top of that list is our 2 sporting directors, Michael Hughes and Richard Edwards, because they are the ones that FSG are put in control of the footballing aspect of stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if FSG don't know much about what's going on at the club. I genuinely wouldn't, which is why they put our 2 sporting directors in place to oversee everything. So they're the ones who are overseeing everything, and they're the ones who, for me, are the ones who need to hold the smoke. You know, second on that list, Arne Slot. He's not first because ultimately Slot cannot sack himself, can he? It comes to a point where the sporting directors have to pull the trigger. You know, unfortunately, as much as I don't rate Slot as a coach, he can't get rid of himself, can he? You know, all he can do is wait to get sacked, and that hasn't happened. You know, and then I'll put FSG bottom because I think ultimately they probably need to pay a bit more attention to what's going on. If they did, I don't think Slot would be here. You know, if FSG were paying attention and if FSG took notice, I'm sure Slot would be gone very, very soon. Because say what you want about FSG in the transfer market, I'm excluding this summer. Say what you want about them being cheap. They usually react when things are going against them. If they sense Champions League football is in danger, if they sense we're heading down a dark path, they will act. Which is why I'm praying that they wake up and notice what the hell is going on. Also, our sporting directors need to be absolutely fired. They need to be fired for how they've just dealt with this whole Slot situation, how they've blindly stuck with him. That in itself is reason to get rid of them. So we've got problems, people, and I don't think a new manager, unfortunately, I don't think a new manager is going to fix everything. While a new manager will get a tune out of us, while our players are good, I look at some deficiencies we have in the squad, and are we going to really spend as much money as we need to again? Potentially need 2 more centre-backs along with Jeremy Jacquet, depending on Konate's situation. We might need another right-back because both of ours are looking injury-prone at the moment. Probably going to need another left-back if Robbo goes. We need a DM. We need a left winger. We probably need a right winger as well. So that's a lot of money being spent again. Can you see FSG really breaking the cash out again? Especially if our sporting directors want to stick with Slot. If they want to stick with Slot and he's still here in the summer, you can forget about Slot getting any more money from FSG because they won't give him anything. It's the only logical reason I can think of why we haven't spent money in January. The fact that they don't want to give Slot any more money than they have because they've seen how much of a disaster the season's been. It's the only logical reason I can think why we didn't spend money in January. That is all I can really say. And I hope that's the reason we didn't spend it. I hope it wasn't because we were being cheapskates or our sporting directors didn't care. I genuinely feel the reason we didn't spend money in January is because they don't want to give Arne Slot any more money than he already has been given. Because he's been given a lot and he's taken us backwards. You give him even more, he could take us even further backwards. So I can see why. And I hope that's the reason, because I'd be livid if it was anything else. So this Slot situation is very interesting now, because we've just lost to Manchester City 3-1. 2-1, sorry. Although I think it should have been 3-1, because I think the goal should have stood. And I don't think Dominic Szoboszlai should have been set off. So we're in a position where we lost at home to Manchester City. We're 5 off United, and we're 4 off Chelsea in the top 4 race. We're currently, I believe, 6th in the table. And we go away to Sunderland this week. Now let's get into the Sunderland game a bit more. Apologies for my little rant there. So we take on Sunderland on Wednesday, which isn't going to be an easy game because guess what, people? Have you guys seen Sunderland's home record? Have you guys seen their home record this season? Because you know what? Good luck to us. That's all I'm going to say. Good luck to us. Sunderland, people, have not lost a home game all damn season. You're right. They played multiple teams at home. Even during AFCON when they had their players missing, they have had multiple difficult games at home. And guess what? They haven't lost a game. Haven't lost a game at home all season. That place is a fortress. Literally, that place is a fortress this year. So good luck to us, people. The way we're playing, do you expect us to go there and get 3 points? Really? Especially now, that they've got their players back from the AFCON. I don't expect nothing, I'll be honest. I would be very, very surprised if we get anything out of this game. Literally. If we walk away with anything in this game, I'll consider it a miracle. Genuinely. Sunderland haven't lost a home game all season. They've been solid. They played Arsenal, they haven't lost. They played City, they haven't lost. So they played the top 2 and they've gotten the points out of them. I don't know if they've played... I think they've played Spurs there, if I'm not mistaken. Or no, they haven't played Spurs there yet. Have they played Chelsea there? They haven't played Chelsea there either. And they yet to play United there too. So they haven't lost at home against anyone this year. It's either been a draw or they've won. Let's be honest. The way Liverpool are playing at the moment, and the fact now also, because of what happened on Sunday, we don't have Dominic Szoboszlai available for this game. So no Dominic Szoboszlai, meaning no right back. Our third choice right back is also now gone. I said third choice because Szoboszlai becomes third choice if both of them are out. How on earth are we in a position where we don't have a fit available right back? Bradley out injured. Hope he gets well soon. Frimpong out for another couple of weeks. Hope he gets well soon. Now Szoboszlai out with the red. Who's going to play right back for this game, people? The logical answer would be Calvin Ramsey, but the manager's made very clear he doesn't rate Calvin Ramsey, so I don't think he starts at right back for this game. So that begs the question, who is going to be Liverpool's right back for this game? Who's it going to be, people? Who? Is it going to be Wataru Endo? Is the manager going to shoehorn Endo in? Is it going to be Joe Gomez? Is he going to shoehorn Joe Gomez in? Is it going to be Curtis Jones? For me, personally, I think the most logical answer is Curtis Jones. I think the manager will slot Curtis Jones at right back, and I think he will be the one who plays. Again, it's not ideal, but Jones will give 100% there, even if he's put there. Don't want to see him there, of course. He works better in his natural position, but he will give his all there. Against Sunderland, can we cope with Jones at right back? maybe. If we were going to the Emirates or the Etihad with Jones at right back, I'd be panicking. I would be panicking, but Sunderland away, maybe we can deal with it. Maybe. So I look at this one and I think, okay, how are we going to get a result here? Because we're not great away from home this year. Sunderland haven't lost a game at home this year. All logical outcomes point to the situation getting even worse for Liverpool and us losing another game. You know what I'm saying? If we lose 2 on the bounce, it's a bad thing. And if we lose on the weekend as well in the FA Cup, yeah, problems. Big problems. As for team news, other than Szoboszlai being suspended, we're fine. So that is a positive, I suppose. Look, we need to be clinical in this game. We need to be clinical when we get chances. Ekatike, as much as I love him, as much as I think he's had a great season, very wasteful in front of goal on Sunday. Salah, just ghosting games. You know, he shouldn't start this one, but he will because of who he is. And yeah, people, yeah, Sunderland, I'll be honest, they've been absolutely sensational since they came up. Credit where credit is due. I predicted them to go straight back down, and they've come up and they're in contention for a European spot, Europa League or Conference League. They could get either one of those. And for them to just have been promoted and for them to get a Europa League spot or a Conference League spot, it's amazing, especially for them. They've come up and they've also outshined their rivals, Newcastle, as well. They've outshined their rivals, Newcastle, who are playing Champions League football this year. Like they're doing very well, and I'm very happy that a club like Sunderland can come up and do as well as they have. That's all credit to their manager. That's all credit to their players. They've got some decent players there that I think some of the bigger clubs might take a look at in the summer. So you got to credit Sunderland. And being unbeaten at home, genuinely, it's a big thing. Under Jurgen, we went a whole season. We went 2 seasons, I believe, at times, without having lost a home game. You know, 18-19 didn't lose a home game in the league, Champions League. 19-20 didn't lose a home game. So I know what it's like to go on long runs without losing the game at home. Sunderland, of course, you can't compare them to us when we were doing that. But yeah, they're a great side, and credit where credit is due. They've got a good manager there, good set of players. Seem like they've got a nice fan base too, a very humble, down-to-earth fan base, unlike their rivals up the road who are pretty classless, if we're being honest about it. But yeah, people, I'm not confident for the game. I'll be honest. I've got zero confidence. The only reason I was even confident for the City game was purely because of the record thing, because we hadn't lost to them at home with fans in the ground since 2003. And Slot managed to break that record as well somehow. So credit to Slot there. Well done, mate. This one, they haven't lost at home all season. The best we're going to get in this game is a draw, let's be honest. We're not going there and winning. The best we can do is get a point. And even that is a big stretch because at 8 p.m. under the lights, that place will be rocking. I believe it's called the Stadium of Light. What a name, by the way. It's going to be rocking. They're going to be right up for it. They'll sense blood as well, people. They will sense blood. They'll sense that we're vulnerable and they will try and take advantage of that. If they score early, we're in trouble because they'll just low block it and we won't have a clue. I look at the game at Anfield, the reverse fixture when we played them. They should have won that game. They should have walked out of that with a 1-0 win. You know, we were very fortunate at the end. They didn't win either with the Chiesa goal line clearance. We very much didn't deserve a point from that game. They were very good at Anfield, set up in a low block at 1-0, compact, made it hard, and we didn't have a clue. So ultimately, I think they'll have probably been disappointed that they didn't leave the Anfield game in the reverse fixture with the all 3 points. You know, we scammed the goal with Wirtz. Credit where credit's due for Wirtz. We scammed the goal with Wirtz. But they should have won it at the end. You know, if it wasn't for Federico Chiesa running his backside off to get back and clear that off the line, we would have been staring at a loss, let's be honest. So they caused us problems in the reverse fixture, and that was at Anfield, people. Can only imagine how up for it they're going to be in this one now that they're the home team. We haven't beaten at home. We haven't beaten no newly promoted side at home this season. Leeds 0-0. Burnley 1-1. Sunderland 1-1. You know, away from home, we haven't beaten a newly promoted. Well, we beat Burnley 1-0. Luckily, with a Buki Salah penalty at the end. Drew 3-all against Leeds. Conceded 3 goals to a newly promoted side. That in itself is a disgrace. Now we take Sunderland on this weekend. Not this weekend, this week, Wednesday. And with our record against the newly promoted sides this season, logic tells you we're not going to win. You know what I'm saying? It's possible we can get a draw, but I don't see us winning. As bad as our record's been against the promoted sides this season, we haven't lost They've been draws mostly and 1 win. So if you go for that, this game's probably nailed on to be a draw. But with the way we're playing, again, with the way Sunderland are playing this season, I can see a loss. I can easily see a loss in this one. So yeah, if we lose, it's going to add more pressure on because we just lost at home to Manchester City. We now go away to Sunderland. We lose this one, more pressure on. We then lose on Sunday in the FA Cup. That's even worse. So yeah, man. Yeah, man. We could be on thin ice come the end of the week. Come Sunday night, we could be on really thin ice. So I'm not confident, but I'm just going to get to the preview, haven't I? If I just give you guys my predicted team now for the game, I think you guys will pretty much know, and you guys will probably agree with me on what the team's going to look like this season. Well, this season, what am I about? What the team is going to look like on Wednesday. Always getting my words mumbled up, man, I swear. So this is what I think the team will look like on Wednesday. So in goal, Alisson Becker. Look, people, it's very rare that I criticise Alisson because of how good he is, because of how much time he's bailed us out this season. I believe we would have gotten absolutely smoked in a couple of games if he wasn't for him in goal. You know how much praise I have for him. He's my favourite Liverpool player personally. For me, the best goalkeeper of all time for Liverpool. Definitely our best goalkeeper of all time. Arguably right up there with the Premier League greats. Obviously up there with the all-time greats in general as well, from all the leagues. A great goalkeeper, a great servant. For me, currently the best goalkeeper in the world as well. Definitely, easily the best goalkeeper in the league. So, it's rare that he makes a mistake. And when he does, unfortunately for a keeper, when you make a mistake, it leads to a goal most of the time. So I'm concerned. I'm very, very concerned why he did that, why he felt the need to come out, and then why he felt the need to come up for the corner as well at the end. He had a mare. It's not the first time he's had a mare against Manchester City. It happened before. But I'm hoping Alisson learns from that and he comes back better. And I know he will, because Alisson is a top class goalkeeper. Best in the league for me and best in the world currently at the moment. So I'm sure he'll put it behind him and I'm sure he'll be back to his best very, very soon. He can start off in this game though by rectifying his errors from the City game. So he plays in goal. At right back, I've gone with Curtis Jones. Szoboszlai unavailable. Our two other right backs unavailable. It will probably be Curtis Jones. The logical answer would be put Karen Ramsey in because he's a natural right back, but it's obvious that Slot doesn't rate the guy and Slot doesn't trust the guy. I don't think he has enough trust in Endo to play him there. Don't think he has enough trust in Gomez to play him there. So I think we're going to be shoehorning Curtis Jones in the right back position for this game. Not ideal, but again, what can we say, man? What can we say? Moving on to the centre-back pairing, Virgil and Ibu. No surprises there. Again, I don't think Ibu had a terrible game on Sunday. But again, defensively, we weren't good. We were not good. So I hope they can have a better game. But against Sunderland away, if we concede one goal, I can see this team easily crumbling and the defence crumbling. So you just got to hope at this point that our centre-backs have a decent game. So that'll be the pairing because there's no one else. Left back, it will be Milos Kerkez. Kerkez is slowly starting to prove himself. I felt he was good against Manchester City at the weekend. I felt he had a good game. He's slowly starting to win me over because his performances in recent weeks have been much improved. Bar the Bournemouth game, he's looked better. So I'm not surprised. He is growing into the role slowly. It's taking time, but I believe in him. I believe he will be a good investment in the long term. So yeah, Kirk is at left back. Hopefully he can continue his good form on. In the midfield, I've gone with Gravenberch and Maka. Can't even put Jones there because Jones will have to play right back for this game. So again, they weren't great at the weekend. They were not great. It's obvious that Gravenberch is not a 6 and we need a proper 6. That little experiment that Slot did last year that seemed to work so well has quickly evaporated this year. We need a number 6. It's crazy how after all this time, we still haven't replaced Fabinho. Still haven't replaced him after all of this time. It's mental how he left 2 seasons ago, or 3 seasons ago actually, and he hasn't been replaced. Instead, the club wanted to shoehorn Gravenberch there. Well, it's obvious he's not a 6. It's very obvious. So we need to dip into the market and get a real 6 so we can play Gravenberch a little bit higher in the 8. But it'll be Gravenberch and Maka. Again, Maka, don't know what's going on with this guy. Such a shell of himself from last season. It's unreal. Not looking right. I wouldn't play him. But again, we don't have much options midfield-wise either. Endo won't get a game no matter what. So we're just forced to play players who are out of form and hope they can regain it. So I think the double pivot will be Maka and Gravenberch. Moving up top again, playing players that are out of form. It's going to be Salah off the right. We know it's going to be Salah off the right. Again, he was poor against City, and I'm very disappointed in him. Very disappointed. He knows what the Manchester City game means. He's been in title races with these lot. You know, him, Alisson, Verge, Robbo, Gomez. These lot know. Ebu as well. Ebu was here when we were in the last race with them, when it was just us two. Jones as well to an extent. They know what it's like to face Manchester City, and they didn't turn up. They didn't turn up. Salah was ghosted. He ghosted the whole game, and I'm disappointed. I'm very disappointed how he's come back from the AFCON, and I'm not seeing no improvements in his way of playing. He's still looking way out of it. Obviously, condolences to Modis. Yesterday, we did find out that Mohamed Salah's grandfather unfortunately died. So, again, rest in peace to him. Again, you take football out of matters like that. A sad occasion. The Liverpool family are behind Mo, and hopefully he knows that as well. So, rest in peace to Mo Salah's grandfather, and just want Mo to know that we're all behind him. The Liverpool family's behind him, and he'll never walk alone. But on his form, people, it's not been good. It's not been good, and I can't imagine much changing, and he'll play just because of who he is. You know, Slot is really, really scared, I believe, of having another incident like the Leeds game. So, for that reason alone, I don't think he gets dropped. So, Salah plays, and you're just hoping and praying that he'll come good at this point now again. In the 10th position, Wirtz didn't have much of an impact. Couldn't really get into the game against City, but again, I don't think we were playing to his strengths. I don't think the rest of the team were helping out. So, I think he'll play in the 10. Hopefully, him and Hugo can link up well this time around and get their rhythm back from a Newcastle game. But yeah, Wirtz, hopefully in the 10. Will be in the 10. We'll see what he can do. Left wing, Cody Gakpo moving on. Not even going to talk about the guy. Again, he's useless, people. He's useless. Now, Yamin made a good point yesterday when we did the match reaction together, joint match reaction. Check it out if you haven't, people. He did mention that Gakpo is a centre forward, really. He's not really a left winger, so maybe he's being played out of position, but again, that's on the manager, isn't it, for playing him out of position? If he's a centre forward, play him through the centre. Why shoehorn him in that left wing? Because we don't have no one else there that the manager trusts. So Gakpo's going to be playing again, and prepare to be pulling your hair out, people. And then up top, Hugo Ekitike. Probably one of his poorer outings against Manchester City, if we're honest. Didn't really get into the game. Well, he had chances, but didn't bury them. You know, if he buries one or two of those chances, it's a different game. But I'm not going to get onto him because of how good he's been this year. I know he'll be back better for this game, hopefully. So that's the team, people, for Sunderland. In goal, this 20 guys do it again. Alisson Becker. At right back, Curtis Jones. Virgil van Dijk and Ibrahim Konate at centre back. Milos Kerkez at left back. Midfield double pivot of Ryan Gravenberch and Alexis McAllister. Mohamed Salah off the right wing. Cody Gakpo off the left wing. Florian Wirtz in the number 10 position. And Hugo Ekitike up top as the striker. So that's the team, people. That is the team on paper. So we'll just get rid of that. Score prediction time. Look, I said I wasn't confident, and I maintain that I'm not confident. I just don't see us getting a win. And you can call me negative, you can call me this, that. Don't see a win. They haven't lost at home all season for a reason. They are very, very solid. I think we lose. I genuinely feel like we lose. I think the press is going to be too much for the players. And I just feel it's going to get bad to worse. I feel like our easy one is over. An easy one that we scraped through as well. And now we're coming up against a little bit of a tougher one. I think we're going to struggle, you know. So I think we lose, unfortunately. And I think it just powers more misery, more negativity, more toxicity, and more hate towards our players and the manager. So I'm going to go with a 3-1 win to Sunderland. I think they will beat us. And I hate to say that. It feels like I predicted a lot of draws and losses this season. I haven't really predicted wins, but it's just the way I feel, people. I don't see us winning. So I'm going to go 3-1 Sunderland as my prediction. But let me know your score prediction down below in the comments. Always interested to hear. Let me know your thoughts ahead of the game as well. Today, people, that is it for today's match preview. I'll be back tomorrow with my match reaction. So stay tuned for that. It'll be out after the game. Fingers crossed it's a positive one, but I'm hoping for the worst. I'm expecting the worst, sorry. But yeah, that is it, people. Do remember, on your way out, do drop a like on the video. Sub to the channel as well, people, if you can. It does help out. And yeah, turn notifications on so you know whenever future content drops. And yeah, having said all of that, I'm going to head off, people. I'll be back tomorrow with my match reaction after the game, so stay tuned. And yeah, as for now, people, Liverpool profit out. Big up to all of you guys. See you all soon. Bye for now.